Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make this super cute scrunchy headband, which is like this. So this is the one here, and this one I've only done 50 centimetres, but you can actually do 60, and it just gives you a more fuller scrunched effect, so your scrunch should go further down the leg. And I do hand stitch all of mine, so this is the look that you get. And I use just under an inch headbands. These are about 20mm wide, and I got 20 for £10 from Amazon. So, and I've stitched it off screen, so I'll show you the cutting. So I've cut it with my rotary cutter, and I use the Friskers one, which is this one, because it's really clean cut and easy to use, and you can pop it back and have your security on that as well. So you need a strip like this, and for this I make a little template, and this is what it looks like. So 5 centimetres at the top, and this bit is 25 or 30 depending on how much you scrunch one. This one is 25, and you want to start your taper 6.5 centimetres up, and you want to go in on this bit where it's 5 centimetres here, 1.5 in, 1.5 in, and you want your foot piece 2 centimetres wide. Okay, so I'll put that on the screen long enough for you to be able to capture that. And what you do is you want to double your fabric. I'll just show you. So on this one, you get your fabric from the end, and you sort of want to take it, you want to double it and cut along there, so you can make a few from that section. You can make about 4 from there. So as you can see from that bit, which is 10 inches across, you can make 1, 2, 3, 4 of these with a bit left over, or sort of 3 with a decent seam allowance. So like I said, you can get at least to that many, or you could do 1 of this with your leftover from a different piece, and like I said, you've got enough left over. So there's that. So obviously I've got the main bit, which is just a straight strip. All I'm going to do is use my little guide, which obviously I did on my graph paper, and then I'm just going to do this with a rotary cutter. Just cut my 2. Taper pieces, so you get this look on each end, and then we turn this, excuse me, you want to turn this inside. We just pause it. We'll play the hare's one I did earlier. But basically you take this and you want to fold it so you prints on the outside, and you line up all your edges and pin all the way along. And what I do in the centre, so work out your centre, you want a gap in the centre about 1 inch, and this is just where you would turn it inside out. So just pop a pin there. Like I said, make sure your seams are, well, edges are lined up so you can work your seams. And like I said, you just pin. Now the stitch you want to do to sort this, so you can do your hand stitching instead of your sewing machine. On your sewing machine, you can just use your most simple straight stitch. There's nothing complicated to it whatsoever. You can do your straight stitch, no issues, super simple. So on this one, this is your back stitch, and this is the stitch you want to do your seam with. It's one of the strongest stitches you can do. So obviously I've got my thread doubled, and what you do is you start a stitch as you normally would, so on your standard piece, so just do like this, and then where you started your original point, you go back in, and then you want your stitches the same, so you want 0.5 centimetre I'm doing them a little bit longer just so you can see. And again, you take that thread back to where you originally start that point. Go back up 1/2 centimetre, try and make it a straight line. There we go. You just keep doing this stitch all the way along as straight as you can. Back again. Until you finish. And this is what you'll get, and this is what the back looks like. And if you do a little bit tidier and you do sort of a neat stitch, this is what you sort of get. So that's the stitch that we're going to use to do all of our stitching. And as I said, I have blue petered. You can tell I'm British in this now. And as you can see, I have sewn all the way along to this side, and I have left that inch in the centre so everything else, and I have stitched up the tail, the foot of this one. So just going to do the foot of that one. Put everything out of the way. Don't like clutter on my desk when I'm working. There we go. So we take our foot this side, and you want to flatten it down so that your seams are open, like this. And I go about 1 centimetre up, so you want them nice and flat, so you've got a squared off look like this. And again, you just do a little back stitch. Obviously on these scrunch ones, this foot end is going to be quite skinny, but that is so the feet sit nicely when you've got the scrunch look. So you just do your back stitch across there. Again, if you've got your sewing machine, you just do this pinch to get your foot flat and run the stitch and back stitch back again with your sewing machine. If you're going to do hand stitching, I would not recommend that if you are selling. If it's just for friends and family, that's fair enough. If you're actually going to do these full time or start making a lot of them for time alone, get your sewing machine out instead, or buy a sewing machine if you're going to think about doing these full time. Like I said, sewn ones are cute for family and friends. They always look more professional with the sewing machine if you've got that option. And I don't have the most expensive sewing machine. I have a brother's sewing machine, but when I'm learning them, I like to learn how to hand stitch. Once you've done that, you just want to cut your little end off so it's all nice. And then, like I said, you've got your pieces like this. Now, I have this little stick, little skinny stick. And what you want to do is you sort of want to put that towards the end, so where the fabric is starting to sort of come in. And you take this and you want to sort of get the fabric to, I use my desk sometimes, because you want the tube to start turning itself. There we go. You sort of want it to start going back into the tube. So this is a look you've got. And you want to feed that up slowly. Up your tube. Keep going. And then you'll get to your centre. Here. And there you go. And if your foot's not completely flattened, all I do is I put my stick back in a little tube once it's turned pattern side up. And you just give it a little push until you've got the foot of your take that side out. And then we're going to repeat exactly the same thing on this side. So you want a bit where you can start sort of pushing the fabric up. Like I said, don't be afraid to use your desk. Give it a little wiggle. This is a bit that normally takes me the longest amount of time when I'm doing this. Because it takes me a minute to get it to start turning upwards. Once you've got it though, it's quite quick. It's just getting it to do that first sort of push up instead of just sat on the top. So like I said, push it till it's through. I'm just gonna push that so it's got the little foot there as well. And pull that through, and this is what you get, a nice skinny version. And then you can take your headband and in your seam, that open bit, you pop it in. I always make sure that the seam's facing inwards. Pop it so it's nice and tight on the headband, and then you can pull it all the way down, because this makes it easier to slide this one on. Slip this side this way, and again you scrunch this up here. As you can see, we've got our seam allowance here, so this is where the bit is. Now if you're a better sewer than me and you have mastered the ladder stitch, you can do a ladder stitch here. With me, I'm going to pull my seams together, and I have some E6000, which is a fabric glue, and you can do any fabric glue that dries clear, but like I said, make sure you get your seam down, same as you would have done when you're stitching. And I'm just going to put a touch of glue against my two seams. And this does take 24 hours to set, but once it's set it won't move or anything like that. And then you can just scrunch everything where you want it. And how cute is that one? And like I said, if you want more scrunchiness or less, like I said, you can just do slightly shorter or longer lengths. So that one was 50, this one was 60. If you wanted it more scrunchy all the way down, like I said, as long as you leave about 6 to 8 centimetres on your taper, you can do as much as 70 or even 80 centimetres on here and have like a really bulky scrunch. So like I said, you can really play around with this look, and they look really, really cute and pretty. And like I said, if you are better at ladder stitch, I did do this one on ladder stitch, but as you can see, mine is not perfect yet. I completely admit to that. So like I said, that's why this one, once I've done it, will be set with my glue here, and then it will be scrunched once it's all dried. So like I said, whichever way is best for you. And thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.